Portugal and theme parks go way back. That is, if you consider not having one, history as well. Yep, Portugal does not have a theme park. We have water parks and some amusement parks, but talking about a big, highly themed environment with great attractions, well, the closest to us is Park 1 in Madrid, which is a pretty good park, but it's not Portuguese. Well, this may just be ending, as Storyland Studios and other associates in this project have unveiled a brand new proposed theme park to be located between Spain and Portugal, in the middle of a river inside an island.
Oh boy!
Hey everyone, so today we have a bit of a different video as I'll be going over a brand new theme park proposal in my own country. I've been wanting to do a video on Portugal, but seeing that there's literally nothing to talk about regarding theme parks, well, except cancelled ones, I haven't. But today, the day has finally arrived, and I can't wait to share all we already know about Porto Boega and even touch on that cancelled theme park I just mentioned. So come along as I dive into the Minho River. Starting with the location, it's not what I would have personally chosen, as it's a bit far away from most major cities in Portugal, with a 4-hour drive from the capital and an hour away from the second biggest city of Porto. The major city center that's closer to location is the Galician city of Vigo that has around 300,000 inhabitants and a lot of tourism. Porto and Vila Nova de Gaia have more than 500,000 inhabitants and a lot more tourists. Using a population calculator tool, it's possible to see that almost 5 million people live an hour away from the location of the future park, which isn't bad at all. With that out of the way, let's dig into the actual project, shall we? Boega Island is a 50-hectare private island in the middle of the river that separates Spain and Portugal. It's currently abandoned, but its location is perfect for an immersive theme park. Adam Booth describes the project as a world-class resort with a theme park, retail, dining and entertainment inspired by historical themes and the heroes and people of Portugal. A major part of the project are the significant ecological challenges as well, as what makes the resort so different from anything else, which is being on an island. So, how would people get to the actual park from the mainland? I had this burning question, so I contacted Storyland and Blue Crow Capital, the investment fund behind the project, to learn more, and this is the plan. Ferryboats from both sides of the river, getting people from Spain and Portugal to the island, and a bridge for most likely the Portuguese side of the river. I could see the bridge being used for only backstage access to the island for employees and getting everything needed to sustain the restaurants, shops, and keep everything working smoothly. When it comes to the visitors, this would be done by said ferries. Something that isn't completely unknown to us Disney fans, as the Magic Kingdom has been doing this for more than 50 years now. This would be very similar where visitors leave their cars in the adjacent mainlands and enter the immersion right after hopping on the boats. After reaching the island itself, Porto Boega starts to be slowly unveiled as visitors make their way into this very large plaza. It's important to note that before going into the park itself, this is still very much in the blue sky phase, so it may and most likely will change a lot over the time, but the storyline holding it together should remain similar. So, what is it? The park showcases the tale of a daring explorer from Portugal who traveled the 4 corners of the world aboard his enchanted flying ship in search of incredible stories to bring back home. During his voyage, he was joined by several explorers from each of these worlds who shared a passion for adventure. Now with his ship securely moored at Porto Boega, guests will be invited to discover these wondrous worlds that dare to be explored. Here, anything is possible, and guests will be able to live out their own amazing adventures. The designers wanted to make it very fantastical, and did so by using steampunk elements and style. This way, the main icon of the park, the explorer's ship, isn't just a normal ship, but a balloon galleon. In terms of layout, Porto Boega seems to be similar to that of Universal Islands of Adventure, with an entrance street and land which leads to a major body of water that links all the different lands together, making it the perfect layout for the story. The entrance main street-like land seems to be an old Portugal city with the tile roofs and winding streets. Then there's what seems to be an Egyptian-based land with a pyramid, a South American land with what seems to be a Mayan pyramid, a major fort-like structure with the explorer's steampunk ship docked in front of it, then I'm not sure what this is, but could be a Nordic, almost Viking-like land, and the last one, an Asian land, possibly Japanese or Chinese based. There's a lot of room to play with when having these themed lands, not only with attractions, but also by providing a real taste of the different cultures represented here, something that no theme park does better than Epcot, by providing real food and merchandise from these countries. This is something that would be amazing here, and I hope happens, as it's one thing that doesn't have a lot of presence in European theme parks. That said, what about attractions, rides? What's there to do here? Well, if you're not convinced by the food and different cultural experiences that would be found here, I understand. In terms of attractions, there isn't a lot known because the project is still in the very early phases, but the creators have stated that typical iron rides and coasters occupy a lot of land. We think we can do better than that. The way we want to craft the layout of the park sort of acknowledges that. So, no huge coasters passing above guests, which may sound a little disappointing to thrill seekers, but it leaves a lot of room for other attractions. An example comes from a cancelled Portuguese theme park called Lusolandia, where one of the main attractions would be a Pirates of the Caribbean style boat and dark ride, where guests would hop into a boat and go around the world during the time of the Portuguese discoveries. This ride was pretty much ready to be built and would start in Lisbon and right after go uphill during a major storm, pass through a ship graveyard, Neptune's cave, a huge kraken attack, and fall through the edge of the world by going down a drop. This is just an example of a ride that could be found in the Porto Boega theme park, but there are so many more, and I can share some ideas of my own. In the South American part, an indoor roller coaster based on the myth of the 7 cities of gold, Cibola, where one of the characters of the park invites guests to a search for the lost cities such as El Dorado. A flying theater attraction inside the major icon of the park, the flying boat, where guests go around the 4 corners of the world with the explorer inside his ship, something similar to Soarin', with water, smells, video, sounds, and wind effects all throughout the experience. A walk-through attraction through the boat where we find all kinds of artifacts from around the world he has been collecting, his steampunk machines and creations, or a true Viking experience on board a boat ride where guests experience what a Viking life was like all those years ago, or even a drop tower inside the other icon of the park, the huge lighthouse, that gives those who ride stunning views of the entire island. As you can see, there are endless possibilities to be explored here, with rides and experiences to fill the entire landscape of the island. Another interesting idea is a hotel. Storyland didn't specify if there will be one, but they seem to have teased the idea. I think that this area could be a resort location, with this being a hotel and these the gardens/future hotel location. Leaving the imagination realm and going back on tracks, the park wants to support and engage the local community by offering all the facilities that a normal theme park has, from rides, retail, dining, and entertainment, but also ensure that the Portuguese culture is celebrated by having local vendors providing food and other goods. The environmental impact has also been a major concern from the ones behind the project, as Storyland and Blue Crow want to have a positive impact on the planet and showcase responsible management of natural resources. A part of the island would be left mostly untouched and be nominated the Nature Walk, where people will be able to connect with nature via elevated tracks that should be what we see here in the back. Flooding is a problem during the rainier seasons here, but they already have a plan to counter the elements, which, by looking once again to Florida, could include the major body of water in the middle of the park, as the excavation would leave a lot of earth that could be reused to raise the areas around the lake, such as the walkable sites, backstage, and attractions, and leave everything flatter and ready for the construction of the park. This project sounds amazing, from the storyline, possibilities, and even the impact on the region. So, when's it all happening? Well, unfortunately neither Blue Crow nor Storyland Studios has revealed the timeline, as it's all still in a fairly early stage. That said, there will be a huge event in the not so near future that will be the 2030 FIFA World Cup that Portugal, Spain, and Morocco will all host together. This major event will bring big investments in several sectors of these three countries, including transportation, which should be getting a big one. The cities of Porto and Vigo will both host several matches with one stadium each, and that opening until 2030 seems to be a no-brainer. For it to be ready, as tourism in the entire Iberian Peninsula will receive a big boost that summer, which could be a great way to open a brand new theme park destination. With that, I do think that if the project gets a green light somewhat quickly, construction should take around 3 years, meaning that 2027 is my most optimistic year of opening, with 2030 being middle ground and, well, never being the most pessimistic. So, a Portuguese theme park in an island in the middle of the river that separates Spain and Portugal, accessible by boats from both sides, possible hotel, a huge steampunk boat with a blimp on top, that seems to be it. Storyland and Blue Crow, if you're listening, I would be more than glad to serve as a second opinion, and I do have a lot of cool ideas, so send me an email. Well everyone, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And now, as always, thank you for watching, and that's a wrap.